the security curious people, I call them, the ones that are starting to really pay attention to security, is that middle layer of the pyramid. These are fantastic customers. They're my favorite. Even better are the people who are proactive, and these tend to be your regulatory required people. They have some kind of requirement. ISO, the NIST framework of various flavors. I'm sorry, contractual or regulatory. So what do I mean by that? Regulatory, HIPAA, PCI, you know that stuff. But contractual, more and more large companies are forcing the smaller companies to become, up to a certain security standard, and they usually define it. So for example, NIST 800.53 is one of them, and that's the one we hear the most. ISO 27001 is another one, more common for manufacturers. But these standards are ones that the end customer wants, just to know you have your act together. How that fits in is this first block under proactive is the NIST cyber audit. This is an audit against a particular standard where we are going through and we're assessing against the controls for that standard. HIPAA has a set of controls. It's like 160 or something. CMMC, PCI, ISO 27001. They're all just individual frameworks. So this NIST cyber audit, this is an extensive process. This is this is not a cheap project. It can take a couple, 3 weeks, and it assesses the virtual security, their physical security, and their process and procedures for security. So for example, all the security products in the world will not solve what happened with Colonial Pipeline. What happened with Colonial Pipeline? Hey, guess what? Either HR or IT didn't shut a user account when somebody left. That's a process failure, okay, which then opened the door to all the other stuff. But if you're not covering all three, physical, process, and virtual, you're missing the boat. This assessment does all three. The next one is also a maturity level where people are getting serious about disaster recovery planning. This is where we work them through creating, we usually start with a disaster recovery foundational plan, which is where we guide them through figuring out what they need a DR plan for, because a DR plan is not a thing. It is usually a dozen things or 24 things, depending on their business. The production line may be one area of concern for a company. Email might be another. Their servers might be a third. So those are different DR plans. Once you identify what you need, we walk through that with them, creating a full DR plan, a full business continuity plan. What are they going to do to keep working? And an incident response plan. How do they communicate in the face of a disaster? Who do you call? When? What's the first step, second step, etc.? So that's the DR planning. The Managed Security Operations Center. So this is...
Ron, can we back up just a second?
You bet.
Both the NIST audit and the disaster recovery planning at the level you're describing are extremely complex.
Yes.
And I've found that they require a lot more skills than just IT management.
Absolutely.
Are you saying you have a service or a provider of someone that does these things?
Yeah, we have people on staff.
So you have a formal NIST audit practice?
We do.
Okay. Offline, I'd like to learn more about that.
Absolutely. Love to help. All right. So the Managed Security Operations Center. So we were talking earlier about the EDR, Endpoint Detection and Response. That is a fantastic solution, but it only covers endpoints, workstations, servers, laptops. It doesn't do anything for the rest of the network. A Managed Security Operations Center wraps everything together into one operation, and it's fully managed, which means you don't have to staff it. So what does it cover? Number one, included is the managed EDR. 2, it covers network devices. You feed the syslogs from all of your network devices over to The yeah, where's my one pager? That would be anyway. It feeds all the syslogs from all of the network devices into the SOC, or the SIM really is the correct response. The third is that it ingests API logs from all of the different SaaS solutions you have, well, that integrate, like 365 and Salesforce, and there's 20 or 30 others. All of that can be ingested. And what happens is it takes all that information, uses a whole bunch of AI to get rid of the noise, and then human beings are the ones processing the tickets. Not your human beings on your team, but actual security professionals. Then, based on what happens, you can customize an incident response plan to have either your team engaged or the customer's team engaged or both, all depending on the situation and your relationship with the customer. And so what Scott's got up here on the screen is kind of like everything that's included. All right. And notice, and this is a huge thing, that remediation and the incident response report after something happened, it's all included. So, you've got also you have vulnerability scanning included. So a Nessus scan, Tenable Nessus, those of you guys who know, that is included on a monthly basis. So all of these things are included. And basically what it does is it gives a complete 360 view of your network and the security staff to go through, identify the problem, to notify you, or trigger an incident response plan if it's a serious thing. And, is really the way to go. We are selling a lot of these lately. We've been doing deployments left and right. We have a three more that I think we're going to close this month. So it's some good things. And honestly, if you're not doing this and your customer, if you're not offering this and your customer is talking about security, you're missing the boat. Because these can be, some cases can be some pretty good money. I know one of the deals is 7,000. We have another one that's on 9,000, I think. So several of the ones we've done too were smaller. We had a couple at 2,000.
I'm gonna chime in here for a second, Ron. This product is the hottest product of all the services, of anything we could talk about. This managed SOC solution is the hottest product because customers are scared, customers don't know, and this product encompasses all facets of cybersecurity protection that they need to get peace of mind. The way that we present this to the customer is if you implement a managed SOC solution coupled with compliance as a service that our MSPs offer through their CISO package, that's as good as you're going to get. You bring in our MSP, they offer you CISO services, they manage your compliancy, they manage your cybersecurity policies, protocol, procedures, applications. That is the best you could hope for as an executive who has that fiduciary responsibility to protect your employees, your company, your brand, so on and so forth. This is the product. So tomorrow on the mastermind, we're going to dive into the technical responsibilities after we sell this SOC as a service, what that looks like. So this is going to be a huge topic on tomorrow's mastermind, and I'd recommend you guys to come if you've not been a part of one of these SOC sales, because this is what I'm saying to every one of you. It's not if we sell this, it's when we're going to sell this. So you need to be prepared for it when it comes. And it's depending on the number of users, it's going to be a very profitable ticket item for you guys.
Yep. And there's a lot of labor for you guys to help get this thing rolled out. So you get the project money and you get the recurring. So awesome. Thank you, Scott. So that's the managed SOC. We'll learn more about it tomorrow. And I'm always open to schedule calls and or a live personal demo with you guys with the Armor Point engineers so that we can go through and you can see it in action.